Hey everyone, it's Ashley Bernardi, CEO of Nardi Media. I am here to talk about pitching in an election year. Oh my goodness, has anyone taken the pulse of the people working in the newsrooms? Because we are in for a wild ride. If you've been following any of the news with the elections, it is a historical and monumental year. And I often get asked, should I be pitching in an election year? Should I be pitching myself in an election year? The answer is yes. First of all, you can always pitch yourself in an election year. It really depends on your subject matter. If you are more health, wellness, science-based, this is not really going to impact you. But if you are hoping to get on traditional media, you need to understand that broadcast airtime is being completely eaten up by breaking news, at this point almost daily, related to the election. So, a couple pieces of advice. First, be patient. Let the news cycle flow. It's always going to change. It's not going to be like this forever. It's changing day by day. Just because there's breaking news today doesn't mean that you can't pitch yourself next week. The news cycle is changing so rapidly. So just be patient, hold a beat, and maybe if there is some breaking political news, use that time to plan a strategy for when that news does die down. Now, second piece of advice is if you are an expert who could potentially weigh in on a situation that's happening in the news, let me give you an example. We're working with a leadership expert who can talk about right now how the country is so divided, and especially in the workplace, how do we work with colleagues who have differing political views? That is a great media pitch. We had him booked on TV just yesterday. So think about ways that you can insert yourself into the news cycle and help tell your story and be of service. So that's my final piece of advice. So if you are one that can pitch yourself and be an expert in the media during an election year, think about news you can use. What is the audience that I'm pitching to? What are they going to learn from me? What are my tips and takeaways going to be? That's what we're looking for. We're looking for news you can use, expert commentary to weigh in on issues, stories, tips. We're looking for news you can use. So think about that in an election year. Also, please be mindful too, if you are pitching yourself. We at Nardi Media, we're very, very mindful of the current state of the world right now, and certain contacts that we know cover these breaking news stories. We're really only pitching them breaking news stories as it relates to that subject matter. If there is a massive breaking news story, you might want to just go quiet on pitching for sometimes it's a couple hours, sometimes it's a couple days. So it really just depends. So you do need to have a good nose for the news cycle and what's happening. I have my live news on all day, every day that I'm watching just to stay on top of it. And that's what we do here at Nardi Media. We stay on top of the news for you, so you don't have to. So we'd love to hear from you. You can visit us at nardimedia.com. But just remember, just because it's an election year doesn't mean you can't pitch yourself to the media. There are always opportunities. Be patient, be persistent, and be creative. All right, everyone, have a great day. If that was helpful, I'd love to hear from you. Drop a comment below.